Alright, what's up people? It is Spirit Haven again, and today we're gonna do part 3. And we're gonna level up just a little bit more and get it done. Get it done. Get straight into it. This guy right here, he's getting dripped out. This guy right here getting dripped out. Taking a drip real quick. That guy has a funny looking face, his character. But besides that, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go back to Fairy Glen. I'm gonna go ahead and buff myself. We're gonna level up. And I'm going to talk about some things real quick before I start. If you're new to the game and if you do not notice, I mean, clearly by now, if you've been playing for a couple of days or so, or even a day, full on day, you probably already know how to reset your skills, and your stats. Just click on this waybinder here. You click on this guy right here, the waybinder, reset, and you can reset your stats here and your skills. But there's a second way to reset your skills in this game. In case nobody has told you already, some people may just tell you to go reset your stats at town. They don't really get into it full on. But if you click on your skill book here, I'm gonna just have it here. Click on your skill book right here, and you right click and apply. You can get rid of one of your skill points for your tree, and then reapply it somewhere else. So that is a trick. To know it's important that way just in case you don't want to full on reset everything. Sometimes you may want to full on reset your entire tree. There's times where you just need to reset a couple skills or skills to add more skills, and it just saves you time from doing everything over, So that's why I'm just giving that little tip today. The first two videos I didn't say nothing about that. Thinking maybe I have said it, but if I did, this is just a reminder. So here we go. Off the period. I will be using the Kunai. Now, this is the fastest way to leveling a character. I do not think so, maybe, when it comes to the Acolyte class. But I have leveled up multiple priests so far, just for the heck of it, and testing out different builds and so on. So that's why I'm doing it again. But the whole point of this is the range is not to get touched much. Still doing enough damage, still getting it done. And at some point, I'm going to even show what gears are good, in my opinion. Like, what gear do I like to use, personally speaking, just to start off with. And there's even gear that I've used as starters that I continue to use even in-game, because it's just good gear. I just have no reason to get other gear. Some gear just fits my playstyle and fit my goal in-game. And that's how it should be, This map gives a lot of information. It really does. You don't really need a guide to tell you how to level. We and I are really here to give you. I'm not trying to give you a guide. I'm just trying to give you advice and tips and show you my process. That way, you can kind of apply it to your own, the thought process in your very own way, and maybe you can learn some. You can start thinking more creatively about building your character in your own way. It's not really a leveling guide and so on, but at the same time, I guess it is some form of guide in a sense. It's guidance, but it's not no guide to tell you, oh, you must go here and there. I'm just showing where I like the person to go. There's a bunch of different spots you can go level up. I personally love Fairy Glen for the fact that I can go at my own pace, where if I were to go to swamps, I don't have control of how aggro the mobs is, right? Over here, I have control of how aggro I want the mobs to be. If I just hit them with my kunai, I can add the amount that I want, and that's using the kunai. Because I'm using the kunai is great because one thing is I'm not a knight, so I don't have taunt here, correct? So without taunt, I'm not gonna be able to make these mobs aggro on me. But with the kunai, I'm making them aggro on me by stacking them from a distance, and that's why I like using the kunai here. But if you were to go to swamps, mobs are aggro, they have poison, it can slow you down, I believe. So those are the reasons, like, when you choose a spot to level, you choose it based off of how well you can handle it and how well you can counter it. If you're not doing well at swamps, then maybe Fairy Glen will be a little better. Even if you gotta kill one mob at a time and go fast at it, to your own pace as fast as you can go, that's better than fighting at swamps where you're dying constantly. Because you're not handling the poison well and your HP's not good enough. Like, I don't have to fight 20 mobs right now if I want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to fight this many mobs. I choose how many I want to fight here. And even then, I can still get pretty much respawn at any moment. If I slow down, get lazy, get tired from clicking. And there's ways to better the kunai throws. If you already have an account, and you could get some gear and some artifacts. I recommend getting Blitz. Blitz are really good for stacking on mobs because it has a chain, +2 chain per part, I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but then again, I'm just gonna check after I wipe this. I'm gonna check for you guys more so than just telling you what I think. I want to know. You know, I like knowing. It's easy to say what you think, but I like to check myself just in case I'm misinformation, giving misinformation. Even if I were to make a mistake and give misinformation, that's why it's important to check for yourself as well. But I'm the type of guy to double check things. That way I can get people the correct information. I'm not just gonna tell people what I think all day. Even if I'm gonna say I think and then I'm gonna check. You know, I'm one of those guys I think, but I'm gonna check. But I believe. You know, I may say I believe, but I'm gonna check. So that's what we're gonna do here. A little lag here. Gear's kind of tripping. That's okay. And I like to use heals. Nothing wrong with leech, but you may not have high leech at the moment. If you're a new player, you may not have high leech. Like I'm leeching right now, 846 on hits, right? That's leech, I believe, so that's going on. But heal is just as good or better, really. You know, if you're not a player to rock leech all day or leech artifacts, you just get heal. I'm healing for like 1368. That's not bad of one bit. It's really good, and the time is not bad. I can click again. You know the time frame of it. The cooldown is really it's really smooth, right? It's a smooth process. It's really cool. I love the time. I love the duration of my heal. Does that mean that's gonna keep you from dying in a bad fight? Not always if you're getting too greedy, but it definitely helps out a lot. You know, it definitely helps out a lot. And if I were a player, let's say I'm an experienced player and I just want to make a piece and not do it from scratch with like newbie gear, I think blitz are good. Especially decide to use a ranged weapon like a kunai or something. Because then I have the +2 chain and I'm hitting every other mob behind it and just getting more done here. Then on top of that, you can also just buy some Blitz artifacts from a shop, from either Moon server or your current server. I say Moon because Moon has the most shops, and most likely they're gonna have it. These other shops in game be kind of low ever since the change that have been made. I don't know why people are upset about it. If they are upset, I'm not sure. I get the tax on it. I'm just saying it seems like that's what happened. The player decided not to sell because of the tax. Do I agree with the tax? I don't really know. I have mixed feelings about it. It don't bother me at all. It don't bother me at all because like I sell stuff super cheap, so it doesn't really affect me that much. I don't really lose much gold. But at the end of the day, anything that changes in the game, you gotta remember if you're a player and you don't like a change, you gotta remember it's okay to voice your opinion and your thoughts. But at the end of the day, it's just an opinion, right? Doesn't mean anything's gonna change because you speak it. It all depends if the dev agrees or disagrees with those opinions or thoughts. You know, as a dev or anybody that's doing anything creative, you gotta make your own judgment calls, even when you're asking for suggestions or feedback. That's just my thought process. I create music. I'm a very creative person. I create music every single freaking day. Like every day, I create music, and I don't miss a day really. You know, I do it, so I get how it is being a creator. I know how it is creating stuff from a very high understanding of it in my own way, right? And I don't really seek out feedback as an artist. I'm not interested in nobody's feedback. I'm not making music for people feedback. You know, I make music because I love making music, and I just want to, I want to use my own. I got my own mind. You can say I have my own mind. And then on top of that, I have my own vision. So whatever I create, it doesn't matter if somebody likes it or not. If somebody likes it, though, I'm appreciative of it and grateful for somebody giving me a chance. But what I mean by that is I'm not seeking validation as an artist. But it's a different field than being a gamer, a developer, and it's a different. It's both creative, different thought process. I think so. But you definitely have your own judgment call. Even if I were to seek out feedback, I gotta make my own judgment calls because there'll be a bunch of different people giving their opinions, especially if there's random people that I barely know. And no disrespect to anybody that plays the game, but at the end of the day, we are all just random people to each other that just getting to know each other. We got to get to know each other. So anybody can say anything; it doesn't necessarily mean it's true or not. But at the same time, that's where having good judgment comes in handy. I think because then you know what kind of calls to listen to or not or consider. But yeah, but just remember, outside of that, what I'm saying, I'm just randomly talking, just ranting at the time of the game. Outside of that, just remember that anything you don't like doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna stay forever. If you don't like the new vending changes, still, it's not necessarily. It doesn't mean that it's gonna stay there. You know, the game's still gonna get early release. Anything can change as the game grows. Things are gonna change. It's bound to happen as you progress in any field. And and sometimes your plans their plans can be pushed back a little bit too. So if you're one of those players that impatient, I say no disrespect, but if you're impatient about updates, you gotta be patient here with the dev because at the end of the day, just because somebody plans something doesn't mean it's gonna happen the exact date they said always. I think what matters the most is being consistent for sure, but also being consistent, committed, and finishing things is super important. I think that's super important. And being very and communicating, I think those are important. If something's a little late and the dad's like, "Hey, I'm pushed back," I think this you just have to just accept that and be patient. That's all I'm saying. And some things sometimes plans do push back because there's other problems that come to play when creating these games, most likely. Even as an artist and as a video editor, I've been video editing for 12 years. There's some days there's no rushing my edits, no matter what. I edit for myself, and I sometimes I do stuff to try to help out other people as editor. But I'm not saying out of brag. I'm just saying like sometimes, well, I'm just mostly editing as a hobby, and I don't prefer to work for somebody as editor, no matter how good I am. So I am good at it, but I'm just not interested. But at the end of the day, even for my own personal projects, let's say I want to be done in 2 hours, it may not happen. There's no rushing it. There's no rushing the progress of a track. There's no rushing the progress of anything creative wise. You're just done. You're literally just done what you're done. You're literally just done what you're done. To be honest, that's what I'm saying in short. I try to get things. I try to get at least 2 to 4 tracks done a day. Two to four tracks done every day. That's my goal. If I get 5, 6, that's even better. Because then I'm so far ahead of myself. And it varies. Things do vary. It does vary. But if you have never like created anything in your life consistently, then I think it's very it can be very challenging to understand and have some humility for somebody else that's creating. Because to you, it may come from a personal, it may come too personal. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not all about you, is what I'm saying. It's not all about what you want always. It's not about what you want always, and it's not just about what the dev want always. In terms of like the dev can want things, for example, or me as a artist or somebody that create that paint. You can want something to be done or this at a certain time, but you can only control things by how much time you put into it and how focused you are. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And even then, your focus can be slow. It's a very delicate thing to talk about creativity. In my own way, I love making music, and I don't really put a time frame on when I need to be done, but I do put a time frame of being done within a day, a couple to a few tracks. I do put like kind of like objectives, like I have a quota. I do have a quota, but I won't rush, right? I won't rush. If it takes me, if I do 1 track a day, then that's what it is. At least I'm being consistent. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I'm just randomly speaking about random stuff as I'm gaming, trying to get my thoughts together. If I stutter with my words, hey, whatever. I'm just over here just trying to have a conversation. I don't really do YouTube gameplay. I'm kind of not that often. I used to stream a lot of FPS games. So it's not like I'm used to talking. It's just different when you're playing that like FPS game. You're just fighting people all day. It's way different. I don't have a lot to say sometimes on top of that. That's when I produce music now on Twitch because that's what I'm on Twitch now. Most times just trying to just vibe and just get it done. And it's like cozy, like some things are just cozy. Dude. I don't know if anybody ever like I don't know if anybody like can relate to that. Just some things you do just super cozy. Like you just want to chill, minimal talking, and just get it done. But there's nothing wrong with communicating if people communicate. There's nothing wrong with it at all. And then trying to express yourself, even if you stumble over your words, and just letting out some thoughts. Like I'm just letting out random thoughts. They don't have to go anywhere. These thoughts don't have to go anywhere. I just want to talk about something. I think it's nice. I do think in this generation there's a lack of communication that's going on, especially even digital. Like if you're talking, like for example, and it's not the dev fault either. It's not it's not the dev fault if the community doesn't talk much in these chats and stuff sometimes, or if somebody's talking in a server chat and everybody's just quiet. That has nothing. That's nothing to do with the individual. At the end of the day, that's like an individual thing. It's like there's no way to change people like personalities and tendency to talk or not. It just doesn't change anything. A person has to want to communicate with others, and have to want to be involved to be involved. If I were to type, they had 100 players in the game right now online today, and I were to type and nobody said nothing. That's not that's not on me. That's an individual thing. That's not on the dev. That's on whoever just doesn't want to communicate. Right now, I'm not going to type much because I'm just recording. But if I see somebody else type, I may very much type in between. That's just how I am. I do type quite a bit. And if the server is quiet, then you may not say nothing. Like right now, there's only 15 players online. Um, so it's not much. There's not much going on in terms of probably what to even type about. That happens too. But the game is super fun. If you've never played a game, you see the video, and decide to watch up to this point, the game is super fun. Don't let numbers turn you off from trying out the game. I will say that. That's my advice. Some people look at numbers all day and think that means like, oh, something's good or bad. I have ran into people like that. Even as playing video games, like uploading gameplay or just uploading music. Sometimes people look at numbers way too much and take that too serious. If you look at numbers every single time to determine something good or bad, then you're not thinking for yourself. No offense, I'm not trying to be offensive here, but you're just not thinking for yourself. You already thought negatively about something before you even gave it a chance. I think some people need to give things more of a chance before they throw it away because they see some numbers. I see 15 players online right now in my video. I'm calling it out not because it's disappointing. I think the game is fun. It's a great game, and it's in playtesting. I don't even know how much promotion been done. And there's a lot of things, right? And the game will grow. It is growing. Every day, I believe it's growing. Yesterday, we had a good day. Every day is growing. But you gotta start somewhere. Nobody starts off with 100, 200 players in a video game. Even making music. I'm not gonna start off with 1,000+ listeners, right? Like what? Off the rips. Like I'm talking about like real listeners that consistently listen. Everything takes time to build up. So yeah, that's just my advice to people that judge things based off of view counts, numbers. It's like that doesn't necessarily mean something is bad about the game. If you determine if you're gonna try something or you listen or you read something, a book or watch a movie based off of views and numbers, then you lose the process of just thinking for yourself. You're just not, it's like you're judging, you're being too judgmental while trying. And I'm in this game right now, no matter how many people play, but I could be the only person to serve it today. If that would happen, I'd still be playing the game because I love the game. It's a great game. I'm making a video because I enjoy the game. But I'm not going to be uploading every single day like I would do when I used to stream video games. I used to upload clips every day. Now my focus is to upload music every day. This is an off and on thing. It's been since the 7th since I upload. Today is the 10th. So I'm pretty dang consistent still. That's the scary thing. I'm still consistent despite my schedule being so busy. I video edit a lot, I make music a lot, and I stream 15+ hours a day. You get what I'm saying? So my time varies quite often, and it's very tight. But I get things done. I get in game and just hang out for a little bit in between my music for ear breaks. But yeah, don't determine things like that. There's a lot of people in the world that wish others would give them a chance, right? To understand what they're trying to do and accomplish. Me personally, as an artist, like I say it doesn't matter if somebody dislike myself or like it, and by that I'm saying I'm not doing it for that validation. But at the end of the day, I would love for somebody to understand what I'm doing. So, and that's always an awesome experience because I want to inspire people and impact people in a positive way. So that's why I want them to understand it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go out my way to please people because they just like a certain thing or they want me to make a certain type of music. That has nothing to do with them. It has nothing. What I make has nothing to do with them. It has to do with me expressing myself in an honest way, right? In an honest way. You can only be true to yourself if you just, like that's what it means to be authentic. Not doing what pleases people within your craft. That doesn't make it authentic any more authentic at all. So that's why I choose to not seek out feedback and so. But yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I had a mute for a second. My nephew, I do got a little nephew, he'll be 2 years old this year, so I will have to move, you might hear him. I do not have any kids myself or nothing like that, but I do have a nephew. You know, he's over here spending the night. And I live at home currently, so that is that as well. But at the end of the day, but as I was saying, at the end of the day, I think it's important to stay true to your craft. If you have your own vision, nothing wrong with suggestions. Nothing wrong with taking suggestions ever. Like I have no problem with if somebody asks me, "Hey, do you mind making a track that's like kind of sci-fi?" I wouldn't mind. But as a streamer, so it could be a little annoying. Somebody goes in the stream and be like, "Oh, can you add a snare here?" It's like, bro, it's like relax, dude. It's like, bro, it's like I've been trying to be. But it's like, bro, you gotta go make your own music. You got ideas. I say, hey, no disrespect. I don't like nobody tell me what to add, and I have the right to say that. If somebody get offended, that's not on me, bro. It's like it's on them at the end of the day. It's like, dude, it's on you. You getting offended for somebody else telling you that they don't want any, like, they want somebody to add on their thoughts into their creation while they're in the middle of doing it. That has nothing to do with my ego or nothing. That's what me just having boundaries. You're like I have boundaries and I have a vision. I'm actually not to like put your vision within my vision because you don't know what I'm thinking or what I'm gonna make. And then I may say, hey, if you got ideas, you can go create in your own project or ask a collab. But those people they don't normally have the right intentions because if they did, they wouldn't get offended. Most people get offended when you tell them like, hey, I'm good. I kid you not how many times somebody get offended over you tell them like I'm good. I don't really like nobody suggesting what to add to my track while I'm creating it. Those people get more offended than I do. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm the one creating. I should be the one getting more offended, but I'm not. Instead, I'm like, hey, if you want to collab, you collab. Hey, if you wanna, if you got any ideas and you get inspired by what I'm making, you should open your project. You know, but then also on the other side, there's these producers, right, and other people that come in that would be like, oh, I don't really finish nothing, and then they're just trying to keep you away and put you down. It's like, dude, so you're over here being weird, right? No disrespect, and being disrespectful to somebody that's actually finished their work. So you come in here and saying you don't finish your work, like that's something to brag about. And I'm not trying to put those people down, but it's like you don't go to somebody that's works hard every day and and complete their task and then try to put them down and then say you don't complete your stuff like that's something to brag about. It's like at that point you gotta humble yourself. It's not like me not being humble at all. It's not like me being humble or being kind about it. I come at people with respect. So I'm just randomly talking about. So I like to talk about random stuff. But on the positive side, right? In terms of that, despite that, I don't just I forgive those people because it's whatever. It's like I'm not taking it that personal. It's a little annoying. And if you get upset, I might just ban you for it temporarily. But it's not that personal where I'm gonna be like hateful towards you because you said something, did something that I didn't like, and you broke a pet peeve. It's just, you only at the end of the day they're only human, and I don't know what people be going through. Even let's say even somebody were to be jealous of me or hateful of me, I don't pay no mind to it at the end of the day. It's just whatever. Because I'm not setting an example treating people the same way they treat me. Is what I'm saying. You shouldn't have to set examples all the time for people but at the same time, yeah, sometimes you gotta be one that set example for people, even of your own peers, even people older than you, not just younger, vice versa. It goes all ways. So that's just my thought. I'm not trying to make it's not negative conversation, but I'm trying to tell you the thought process of how, like, I'm not even, I'm pretty optimistic about things. I'm like, it doesn't bother me, is what I'm saying. I'm giving you my thought process of when I encounter certain things. And it's funny how I'm playing a video game, just talking about random stuff. I don't have to talk about the game. That's the thing. I don't have to play a game to talk about the game. I'm just talking about regular life stuff, like things I'm working on. Shoot, maybe you can relate to it in your own way. My words may not come together full on right now because I'm trying to think and talk. Like I'm just trying to not get cooked here and talk about things. But I'm trying. That's all that matters. You try your best to express yourself, to get thoughts out. It's like venting. I think if you have nobody to talk too much or you don't have a lot of friends, maybe it's your because I don't have a lot of people I consider friends. I barely consider anybody a friend because a true friend of me is a different. It's like if I consider someone a true friend. It's like they got your back, you got their back, and they have the best intentions for you. I don't think everybody has the best intentions. And a friend shows and put effort towards the friendship, right? It's not a one-sided thing; it's a both-sided type of thing. So I don't consider everybody friends because I don't think everybody's a true friend to people around them. friendship is about loyalty as well. It's about loyalty, about uplifting each other. If I don't feel any of those things, then we're not friends. In my book, I'm very, very picky about who I consider to be my friend. And at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Especially when within my own experience. I'm not seeing everybody the same way, but there's so many people that get so self-conceited and only think about themselves. So they don't ever think about taking the time away from self-pleasing themselves to do something else to benefit others or to even uplift their own friends because it's always about them. It's always about what they can get out of something instead of what they can do to help somebody else get. You know, to benefit somebody else. Is what I mean, not just get to benefit somebody else that they claim they care about or they're friends with. So that's not to consider everybody to be my friend. It's just I don't consider people friends at the moment at this age. Just you got something that has to be earned because I'm a good friend. I'm a very good friend. I care, and and I'm always trying to like inspire. I'm always trying to like be there for people when they need me. I don't feel that in return sometimes. I understand people not always be able to be there for you, but I'm saying checking in on your people that you care about, just simple things matter. You know what I'm saying? Check in on your friends. Your friends checking on you consistently all the time, and you rarely pick up the phone or rarely text them to say how you doing. Then you're not a good friend, and there's no excuse to that. There's no making an excuse like, oh, I'm bad at talking to people, this and that. I don't really like hearing those excuses from people. It's like, dude, it takes as simple as how you doing today. Let somebody know that you thought about them and you care about them. If they're the one doing it one sided all the time, and then you're barely doing that, then you're not a good friend to them. You should start doing that. If you made this fun video, you've been doing that to people around you, you barely check in on them, barely talk to them, then it's time to rethink how you're approaching your friendship. Because you never know how somebody feels about it. Even they tell you about it, right? It's easy for somebody to say, oh, they could have just told me how they feel. But also, you could have been a little bit more considerate as well. It's very difficult to talk about certain things. Yes, somebody can communicate with you. Communication goes both ways. But to have consideration is a different thing. To consider something without somebody telling you takes being a bigger person, I think. Because you consider it, you took their feelings into consideration besides your own. And that's what I mean. I see a lot of lack of consideration from people around me. They don't really consider to ever check in on people, not even their own siblings or nothing. They know they don't consider it. It's not a thought in the back of their mind. It's just not. But I think if that changes, I think the world will be a little bit better. I get everybody got their own problems, but we all in together at the end of the day. Like we all in here together to uplift each other. My videos are mainly about just I'm just talking and answering my thoughts. It's pretty therapeutic, It's like very like therapy, you know. I highly recommend anybody that does play games. You don't do nothing else. You don't got a hobby. If you don't got a hobby, this is a good time to start a hobby. For anybody watches. If you don't have a hobby and all you do is go to work and that's it, start uploading. You don't gotta upload with the goal of trying to earn money either. You're already making money. You got a job. I struggle to find work. I don't have any. I don't have any work. It's like I stream. That's all I do. So, but if you have a job, you already got a job. You can upload. You can do straight raw recording like I'm doing. If you make a little stumble on your words and your thoughts on it, if you say don't make sense, it's okay. If people are gonna judge you for making a mistake in a conversation that you're having with yourself to the recording to people that may listen, then hey, forget those people. They don't have the courage to do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the courage. So if you don't have a hobby and you need a hobby, start recording your gameplay. You don't have to use your mic as well. You don't have to use your mic. I'm just using it because I'm just trying to make it more, I want to be a little bit more meaningful where somebody can hear my voice and understand that, hey, I'm a human being. I stumble or I make a mistake in my conversations. I have flaws like anybody else. And that's why I'm recording and then the show. Sometimes it's difficult to have to talk, to say stuff while I'm thinking off the rip. But I'm trying. And that's why makes fun of me. They're no better than me at all. So I'm not going to really care. So yeah, if you need a new hobby, start recording your gameplay. You don't gotta use your mic if you're shy to use your mic or you're not comfortable. Record it and just make it a gameplay video and upload it. But if you need to talk about things, record and talk about it and share your thoughts a little bit. Because it's just like therapy without actually having a therapist. And just like having you having somebody to talk to. If you believe in God, God is always listening as well. So don't ever think you're alone. Don't ever think you're alone. Because you don't have many people to talk to and you have friends. You don't need, like it's good. We all like everybody seeks, I believe, companionship, but you're never alone. Just don't ever think you're actually alone. Don't ever think you're the only person that feels the way you feel about certain things. You're not. There's people out there just like you that can connect with you, that think the same way as you in a sense, that have the same mindset almost as you, same thought process that you will get along with, that can relate to you. So that's why I'm doing this raw recording. I'm not here to be perfect, and I'm trying my best to be the best I can be. I'm not here to like pretend I'm a perfect human being, as in I don't stumble in my words. I make sense of these sentences. I don't sometimes. You know what? That's okay. I'm trying my best. Anybody makes fun of me, then you know bigger than me, you know better than me. At all. And I always say that. I say it a lot. Let people that thinks like that, because that way they can know what kind of person I'm on, what kind of ground I stand on. That way, anybody come through and try, they know what kind of ground I stand on. So before that way it negates anything that anybody has to say. And if they said, then you look like a fool because I already knew you would say something, without assuming you would. Because I'm not gonna assume anybody's gonna say something negatively at all. But if you do, then I pretty much already defeated you in a sense. Is what I'm saying. You've been defeated. You've been defeated, and you defeated yourself. Also, I see I'm gonna check for the blitz to give you actual information without saying I think or I know, whatever. I want to double check. So I'm gonna open up map. If you're new to the game, if you open up the map with M and you click on a zone, for example, I'm gonna go here. It highlights it yellow. The square is yellow, and then you can left click on the mob name, and it shows you the drops and everything, drop rates, and so on. The information, percentages of the elements, neutral, poison, undead. But let's say you were looking for a specific weapon and you didn't want to scroll down everything like this, one by one. Now, all you have to do, the simplest thing to do, clearly somebody may say, oh, there's a website, spiritvale.com. Like, yeah, I rarely ever touch that site. I don't really use the wiki, bro. It's like the wiki is just to make things easier for everybody. Nothing wrong with having a little bit, smooth process, cool. But I think, like, or even a vending, I think the vending site is great. I have used it a couple of times. But that is like a last resort for me. Everything that you need to find out is in the game. All the information is there. Like, what, bro, like, what? People, in my head, bro, I'm not trying to make fun of it, but it's like, that desperate to go to a wiki to look up the same information that's in the game because it's easier. Because it's like, bro, this is easy too. Let's say I'm about to screw that, bro. Do what you want to do. I used to use wikis too. When I was my first like long term MMO game was Wonderland Online. I used to use the wikis all the time. But the thing about Wonderland Online is we had no information on the map. Wonderland Online, if you know that game, it's called Wonderland Online. It's a Chinese MMORPG. It's my favorite MMORPG of all time. And it closed down. The U.S. version closed down years ago. By the time I was 20 years old, I'm 30 years old now. It's been 10 years, right? Basically, that game had no information. This game has information on the map. Different ball game, right? Different ball game. Excuse the dog. Excuse the dog. Different ball game. And in short, sister's dog is bad. It's my sister's dog. He has anxiety bad, so you will hear him bark a little bit. So I apologize for that. Besides that, it just threw me off. Besides that, the game I used to play Wonderland Online, we had no information. Like this game, I have no tutorials or nothing, but the map has information. I kid you not, bro. Wonderland Online, it'll take you a whole 5-6 years to hit your rebirth level because they had a reborn level, which was like 180. Then you can reborn from if you get to 180, you become level 80 rebirth. If you get to level 100 and reborn, you become level 1 reborn. So you just gotta go up, and then the max level from rebirth was 199. The max level from non-reverse was 199, I think. So if you get to 199, which nobody really ever did that often, people have reached 199, I think, or 190. I think 190 was the max. I don't remember. It was either 199 or 190. But people rarely ever get past the 180, 185, 190. And anytime you rebirth at 185, you become 85, 86 rebirth, depending on what level, right? In the hundreds is how you reborn. You gotta get to level 100 to reborn. In the hundreds, any levels in the hundreds, you can reborn, basically. And what happened was, in that game, many people did not know how to level. It was a word of mouth thing. Information was passed on from player to player from learning. Right? There was no nothing back then. I'm not saying that's this game, bro. We've been spoon fed information, which is beautiful, and we also have the freedom to do what we want to do. But I kid you not, in my game Online, I'm not trying to compare it. I'm just trying to give you the thought process of the weight, the difference of how much weight is off of you because of what the dev has done to make the game process smooth for us. So the site's not really a requirement, to be honest, at the moment, unless you truly need a second opinion in terms of information, you know? Says you need some extra information just in case you miss something, that's what the extra outsource is for. Just in case, like the vending is a good example for that. But online, at the end of the day, it's like, bro, we didn't even have like it could take somebody like 5 years to get to level 180 when it doesn't even take that long if you know what you're doing. So people made wikis, right, to pass on information. It became like a source of information trading, right? And kind of wiki can work like that in this game too. Like kind of like we have the Discord to communicate. We have there's got to be ways. You know, Discord is a good way to communicate. In games, a good way to communicate to learn how to build your character or give advice to each other. But at the end of the day, all the information is here if you think for yourself. If I click on the bat and I look over here. Oh, also one thing, I'm gonna backpedal a little bit. Like I said, if you didn't want to, one thing I say, if you didn't want to click on every mob on a map to know what's there, all you have to do is that made this game so easy in terms of information. You click on craftsman recipes, right? Every area, you click on craftsman's, every area that has a crafter, you click on craftsman, and you know what's dropped there now. Now, whatever you're looking for, you know what's dropped there. You can just click on the craftsman, and boom, you get the information of what it does without actually going to the mob name. So as, you don't even have to look scroll through everything. So as long as you know what you want to grab from the craftsman, you got a whole list here, right? You got the whole list here, and then boom, oh crap. So I'm off. You got the whole list here, and with that whole list there, you know where you want to, you know what zone to go to look at the mob, right? And then you can scroll down the mob one by one. You know which mob. But then again, you might as well fight every mob. At the same time. You might as well just fight every mob. Don't just there's no way to like it don't make sense to just target one mob because you're in a zone. You might as well fight every mob you can fight in that zone and just get the extra loot and just sell it. You can sell the extra loot, save some loot for a new character of yours. Like there's like extra stuff becomes useful. Extra cards, everything. You don't have to just focus on just solely what you need. Focus on everything in that zone and that'd be extra stuff for later on that you may use for a different character. You may give it off to a new player to help out. You know what I mean? So yeah, information is very simple in this game, and I think learn how to think for yourself helps out a lot. Nothing wrong with Discord. I said Discord is there if you get stuck. That's what it, and there's a bunch of great players in the game that are willing to help out. But if you didn't even attempt to help yourself and try, then you're not even teaching yourself nothing. Because the funny thing is, somebody can tell you everything to do, and tell you what you should do, boom, boom, bam. But make sure you ask questions if you're gonna do that. Ask questions, plenty of questions. That's important. The other thing is, make sure you do your own research. If somebody's teaching you and they don't give you a lot of information, they just tell you put this on, and not explain why, then you're not being taught well. Somebody should tell you why. Like I give somebody cards. I give people cards in the game. Ask them why. I'd be like, hey, I'm giving you this card because it's basically. Let's say if I want to go to Goblin Cave, there's a place on this map called Goblin Cave, which has undead mobs. And let's say I have an undead card, resistant. I would tell them, I would give it to them and tell them, hey, read the card, this is what it does. I'd be like, you know why I'm giving it to you? And they'd be like, yeah, undead resistant. I'd be like, hey, take this card for weapons. It gives you undead damage. 10% damage to undead. And it takes all this simple reading. I doubt anybody's giving people stuff and not telling them to read or telling them why. Just say, for example, there's a lot of things that, and also, when it comes to building your own character, it's not as difficult as you think it is. I just think if it's difficult, just overthinking a little bit. So there's multiple ways you can figure out how to build your character. One thing is scaling your stack off of the skills you choose. That's one way. The other thing is knowing what you want to do in games. You want to fight mobs. For leveling, you want to farm equipment, gear a lot. You want to farm bosses. Like, what do you want to do in the game? What kind of playstyle you have? Do you have an aggressive playstyle? Maybe you want more attack speed. You know what you want. You know what you don't like. When you play the game and you start fighting a mob, you already know what you don't like. If your character is hitting too dang slow, then maybe you need more attack speed, right? Simple as that. So you go to the map, and I'm gonna show you a place. For example, Forgotten Depths, and this is Goblin Cave right here. You have Undead. Over here is Goblin Cave, down at the bottom. Forgotten Depths, right? For example, Forgotten Depths. If I go to Craftsman, Ashwalkers, level 45 zone, 41, 45 zone at peak, right? And then down here 4650. Ash Ashwalker legs give you attack speed 10%, 10%, 10%. That's a good set to get early on at that level. If you need fast attack speed and you feel too slow and your AGI is too low and you don't want to reset your AGI, go get these 10%. That's gonna make you hit way faster. 10% is a lot more faster than it's really good. It's really good. It's a really good set. You can use that set for levels. For levels. Even every zone has useful stuff. I kid you not. I'm gonna crash me here. Every zone has useful stuff. Every single zone has useful stuff. There's no zone in the game that has like everything can be useful. Nothing is useless. Everything is useful by the person thought, right? Somebody, even the first zone, somebody ever tell you like, oh, that's useless? Nah, they're lying to you. And I'm not just trying to speak, oh, this is a fact, but they're lying to you. I can name anything in every zone that's useful. For a beginner player, somebody's level 1, this may be useful to them because you need gear. That's why everything is useful. If you have no gear and nobody gives you gear, let's say nobody, because don't expect people to give you gear all the time. Somebody may offer a nice person. I'm saying if you have no gear, you have to get gear. That's what makes everything useful. Even if it's for 10 levels, it's useful. It's not useless. You're gonna need this stuff here. This hat is good. If I go down to here, they got a flea. That's for dodging. Flea's good for dodging. You got fireball damage, useful. That's your mage skill. That's a useful card. You got your jewels right here. HP plus 20, useful. Any level can use it from max to level 1. Bunny, attack speed, useful. Fireball gem, useful. Everything on the map is useful. Great game. Everything is useful. Nothing is useless in the game. Don't let nobody tell you that something is useless because they don't use it or they think so. It's useful. It's useful. If you need it, it's useful. Somebody else may need it. It's useful. Everything is useful. Even on this map, boss bonds useful. Denver is really useful. Everything. If nothing is useful. Everything is useful. So if you ever hear that word, oh, this is not useful. This is not good. This is not good. Try out things for yourself and figure it out what you like and what you don't. You don't know. You don't know what. You don't know. Don't be afraid to experiment in the game. Have fun trying new things. And everything's not always about the most damage you can do too. There's other builds in this game that you can experiment. It's good to have a lot of damage to kill fast, but everything's just not about damage. Don't forget to take care of your HP. If you're dying too fast or your mana's too low, maybe add a little bit more to get the cards for you. Because you may not have cards that can help you or sustain your mana. If you don't have it, if you're focused on leveling instead of farming too much, then add a little bit of INT, then reset your stats once you got a card that can be enough. Or go farm a card. There's cards in Trents. They got cards in Trents for mana. Very low level zone. I think level 5 zone, double check. So there's ways, there's very much ways to get things you need. But like me, I'm the type of player, I go focus on leveling, not gonna lie. When I joined the game, I didn't even worry about cards like that. It's not really a needed thing, but it helps out, give you the edge. If you get a card, for example, if I were to get a card here, and if it gives me the edge, I'm just gonna apply it, bro. It's useful. It's like if I find a drop right now, I'm just gonna place it on if I'm here for a minute. But you can go the whole game without a card. But the moment you start getting some cards, start piling them suckers up because you can take them off. You can take them off for about 25k at the city, which I show in the other videos. Yeah, don't. Yeah, but yeah, make sure you got what you want to focus on. Because I'm sure there's some players, and nothing wrong with focus on farming items, but because the funny thing is, you can farm an item, you can stay in a zone and level there too. Like nothing wrong, especially at a beginner level. Like if you go to Trents early on, let's say you're level 5, 6, and you're able to sustain, and you go to Trents early on, you can farm at Trents like level 20 probably on a good day, especially during the 150% XP weekend. You can really farm there for a hot minute until it gets too slow and stack up your cards. And then boom, you got HP cards now, and boom, you got mana cards that you can work with for like late game. Literally, Trents is right here. I'm gonna press M to open the map, and Trents right here, 5-9. When I started again, I used to get to level 20. I think I stayed for like 21 times. And you can get good cards like Earthbolt damage, Mage skill, but also Earthbolt can be given to any class that get a auto cast helmet or card as well. You got MP right here, shoes or Trent. MP plus 20, MP region plus 25 for shoes. Very good card to start off with. Trent minion autumn. You got legwear HP plus 100, HP region plus 25. Very good. Triatum, MP plus 20% chest. You know what I'm saying? You can farm it to level 20 early, you know, if you watch this video, you get to this point. Right here. Max MP recovery per second plus 1. AP regen on shield plus 10% per refine. And then it says leaf mask gives you heals level 3. No card can be placed on it, but you get level heals level 3 without having to add a skill point. So yeah, you go here, you go level up, and everything will be situated. Everything will be situated. So that's just my advice to players that just don't know how to approach things. First thing, study a map. I think it's way less confusing if you just study a map for yourself and just make use of it. Um, don't try to don't seek answers without like nothing wrong asking questions, but try to use the map. Is what I'm saying. If somebody tells you the map gives you information, like I do, use it and try to figure out how you want to build. You gotta think for yourself how you want to build your character. If you don't know how to build your character, I mean, like I say, if you don't like something, fix it. Right now, let's see. Feel a little more, damage not bad. Damage not bad here, Speed can be a little higher. That will help out with the lower damage, but for low level, it's not bad damage. So what I can do is I go here, shift click, and that gives me 10 of those points. I add a little bit more attack speed, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add some bit there. So now my attack speed is a little faster. It doesn't like it makes much of a difference, but it is a little faster. A little faster before. Doesn't seem like much of a difference, but it's still a little faster. And then once I get over to that level 41, 45 zone, I'll be able to, get the attack speed up, and that's going to help my gameplay a lot. So yeah, that's my thought process of leveling and so on. And like I said, if you think your progress is slow, just remember you are progress. You did make progress, even for the level 2. This gonna be a short video. Like I gotta do other things. It's gonna be a short video. Very a lot of levels, but I'm letting you see that it just took a little patience, understanding that progress is progress. This applies to your real life. If you made the interview, it applies to your real life as well. Every little thing you do every day towards a goal of yours, a dream, a passion. If you're taking steps every single day, you're making progress already. Even if you don't see the progress, you're making it. You just gotta not give up on it. Just don't give up on it and give up on yourself. And don't let others put you down. My videos are about positivity as much as about just ranting nonsense in my head sometimes, just thoughts. It's not really nonsense, it's regular thoughts, just random thoughts in mind. But if I say some nonsense, just my videos are about positivity, give you a different mindset and outlook on things. Because I believe some people may need to hear what I'm saying sometimes. And hey, you may not like everything I say. I'm sure if you don't like everything I say, I don't expect everybody like everything I say. But I'm not trying to speak any lie to you. I do think it's all about progress. What you're doing in the game applies to real life too. You make progress one day at a time. You don't need to rush. You need to take your time and pace yourself at your own pacing. Nobody else's pacing matters. It's all about your pace. Go at your speed. Don't compare yourself to people. You're not the same as nobody else. Do as much as you can do and try to push yourself to challenge yourself to be better. That's just me, and I'm just getting a little motivation here. That's just me. It's my thought at least. If you like the way I think, then hey, maybe take something from it. And there we go, level 39. Not bad. I got some levels. That will be the end of the video. I probably do a little short video and just well maybe and test out some things. That's what I'm thinking. That's all these videos to test out. See, I got gear here too. This is really good. You get this real mage, you can rock these. The cash speeds, your mage, you got no IC base. So yeah, guys. Hopefully you have a great night, a great week, a great weekend, a great day. Hope you had a good day. I will be streaming on Twitch at Deep Dive into my mind. If you ever come through, I am producing music normally first. In between, I play the game for about 30 minutes to an hour. If I'm helping players, it may take me a couple hours because those are my ear breaks. But then I just get offline. So yeah, then by and say hey sometime if you need to in the video, if you like the video. My mic is kind of jacked up a little bit. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. All right, it's not terrible. And at least, like I said, at least I'm trying to put effort. I'm not making an excuse because my mic is not great to not record and not do anything. That's just a weak excuse, you know. Anybody can make an excuse. Talk about it all the time. That would be an excuse. Like, oh, I don't want to use my mic because it doesn't sound that great. I've heard worse mics than mine. I had a weird comment too, like what a week ago. Bro, I brush it off. I do like you can make them from like I don't know, say something. I forgot what they said. It's not in the back of my head, and I just miss my assistants, and I just agree with them because somebody make fun of what you don't have. It's like, dude, like I say once again, no better than me. I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful, and I'm gonna have much more down the line in the future. Much more. And God knows how grateful I am and how much I try to stay grateful because I see what God has given me, the gift He has given me, the things I love to do and passionate about. Every single person has a gift, and if somebody makes fun of you for not having something or something messed up, they're no better, bro. They know better. They're no better. I'm very grateful. I'm not upset about it. I'm making use of what I have, and I'm going to get the most out of it. I don't see it as a limitation or nothing. I see it as an opportunity to aim for better and to want better and to be better, at the things that I'm trying to accomplish in my life. So yeah, man. And ladies and gents, this is the end my end note. Don't let people get in your head. It's okay to vent about things that happen and talk about it, I think, but don't let it actually affect your what's the word, performance. That's what I mean, your performance in what you do. Keep on performing enhancing. This is why I like to take performing enhancing, and keep on being great, guys. Much love. Stay blessed. Keep your head up, and don't look at my fade and my mustache. My mustache is staring at you. If you do not look at the mustache, you do not look at the mustache. Peace and love.